I'm Drew, and for my senior experience, I job shadowed a civil engineering firm in Lehigh, Jack Althouse's architecture firm, and a barbershop. I chose the civil engineering firm because I guess for the different tests that you do when you want to know what you're going to do in your future, and it tells you what you could possibly do or whatever. I always got some type of engineering, and I've always liked drawing, so I thought architecture and civil engineering, you can branch off into like structural engineering or architectural engineering, which would be what I thought would be like perfect. So I was like, yeah, I'll do civil engineering. So I actually met the guy that I did this job shadowed. He was on I did the MS 150, which is a bike race, and he was on the team. And I went to a team party, and I was talking about what I might go to college for, and he overheard, and he was like, oh, I'm in this engineering firm in Lehigh. I was like, all right. So I was like, this is perfect. Got his card, got in contact with him right away, and he was all for it. And so I spent my first 2 days of the week at this civil engineering firm, and I got there, and right off the bat, I was just kind of tossed around to different people, and so I could get like a glimpse of like every different perspective of what happened at the engineering firm. And it wasn't what I expected at all. I was expecting like lots of drawings, creating things that were going to be built, and it wasn't like that at all. It was like, I got this, like, we'd get a drawing and then we'd be like, does it work by using physics and math? And I enjoy math and physics, but they didn't do as much designing as I hoped. So I was kind of disappointed the first day. Like, it just wasn't what I was expecting. And then eventually the guy said, you can go out on the job and take measurements of different like structural steel because they want to redo the building. So we actually went out to a building that's going to be right next to the new Lehigh Phantom Stadium, if any of you hockey fans out there. It's right there. It's used to be an old dime bank, and they want to take all the brick off and put new brick on, so we need to take measurements of all the steel. That was alright, except for the fact that it was freezing, and we were up in a building with no windows or anything, up like 5 stories up there, and it was just really cold and kind of annoying. I guess the best part of that day was, as I was looking out the window, I saw this person in a wheelchair, like one of those automatic wheelchairs, going down the sidewalk, and out of nowhere I saw this other wheelchair just come flying by him, and I started laughing. And then I was like, they were like best friends or something, having a good time. And then like farther down the road, I saw it, they pulled into it, like they went to like an ATM, and the one was just like in line right behind the other one. So I guess they were racing to get to the ATM. I don't know. That was my highlight of I guess the 2 days, because the second day wasn't much better. I got tossed around again, and honestly didn't get to see much of anything. We went out to a bridge that they're working on, and I guess the big factor for me was that no one really looked like they were having an awesome time. There wasn't much interaction between employees. It was more like all in cubicles, like all separate, doing their own projects, and that was the big thing for me. It wasn't as fun as what I had hoped. The next day I went to a barber shop, but I'll come back to that one, and I'll go to the architecture firm. I got in contact with Jack Althouse when he spoke at the NHS banquet, and he said, yeah, I could come over, that'd be awesome, I could job shadow at the architecture firm. He said he wouldn't be there though, he was going to Haiti, so I could still, he had a few people there that I could job shadow. So I got in contact with them, and he told me to meet him at the Zwingli Church in Satterton, the one that burned down. They worked on designing and rebuilding that. So I met him there in the morning, and we walked through, and he talked about the different things that they worked on, and the process that they went through in building that, and I thought that was neat for me. And then we went over to the Univest Bank on 113 Bethlehem Pike, and they worked on that one, and they worked on that bank and designing it, and it's actually LEED certified, which is another thing that I really enjoyed because I just find it fascinating, the whole environmentally friendly in terms of building buildings. So it was LEED certified, so the lights dim in terms of different sunlight that's coming through the lights. When you stand in one spot, you have to be able to see a window from like all different directions, and there's a bunch of different things you have to go through. But that was awesome for me to just be on site and see what they did. And we went back to their firm, and I actually got to go through the process of like when they get a request for designing something to when it gets drawn and everything, and that was that was exactly what I was looking forward to when I went to the civil engineering firm. I was looking for more drawing, and that was exactly what I was looking for. They work on computers in terms of drawing, but they also work with actually hand drawing and putting it on computers, and that was just, it was perfect. And they were very interactive at that place, just because it's a smaller firm, and they all looked like they were having a great time the whole time that I was there, and that was what was appealing to me. And now back to the barber shop. Any of you don't know, I've been cutting hair for like 2 years. I probably cut close to 20 kids at this school on a pretty regular basis. So that's one of my passions, and that's what I find to be the most fun. So I wasn't really expecting to job shadow barbershop going into senior experience. It was kind of like I couldn't find something else, and I was just kind of like, well, why don't I ask the barbershop that I go to if I can job shadow? So I did, and they were just joking around and giving me a hard time, like I was like stealing their business and learning their techniques and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, come whenever, like, that'd be awesome. So I went there, and went there right in the morning, 8 o'clock, and was there the whole day, and that was incredible. I was watching the owner, Nick, cut hair. He was teaching me different things, different techniques that I could use, I guess, and he was talking to me about barber school and like what I could do in the future in terms of being a barber, and that was excellent. That was what I got. I went in with high expectations, and I left like just mind blowing. It was awesome. I guess another big thing for me was that they're very interactive there. They're all like best friends. They've all been best friends. There's 3 guys there, and they've all been best friends most of their life. They've all known each other pretty much, and it's just the way they interact. It's just exactly like where I work, and it's just like how I am with my friends. Like Nick's the bald one. He's Italian, and the 2 other guys are Irish, so they're always going back and forth about their heritage and different things. And Nick quit smoking recently, and since then his weight has went up a significant amount. And the other guys took notice of that, so they put a picture of Danny DeVito on his mirror saying he looks like Danny DeVito. So just the way they interacted was awesome, and I just found that to be incredible. They really made me like actually want to do barbering next year, so I'm pretty set on doing either an apprenticeship here at their shop and getting my hours, and then going to get my barber license, or going to barber school in either Westchester or Harrisburg. When I left the shop, I just kind of wanted to talk to Nick about like the whole money thing, because barbers don't make much money in comparison to the civil engineering, I guess. And he went on this long spiel about doing what you love and everything. And in the end, what it came down to, he said, if you do what you love, the money will come later, because people will realize that you're passionate about what you do. And that just kind of struck me, because I guess money was always in the back of my mind. It was actually more in the front of my mind, but it should have been more in the back now that I think about it, because I was always thinking like good paying job and good money and everything. But when it comes down to it, it made me look at it from like a different light, that if you're doing what you love, the money will come later. So that was my senior experience. Thank you.